Hello, hello, and welcome to another Monday night Chassidut. We are concluding the third week of toldot. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, we will finish the Dvar Malchut Sicha for toldot, and we will start a new one next week. So let's review a little bit. Um, so Sorry, I'm just letting people know that we have started. All right. So last week we were talking about that there's a novelty, right? We were talking about in general, told it in the connection of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, which we had this week, Baruch Hashem. And the idea that there was a question we were saying, how come the Jewish people are like the beginning of the moon and the month instead of the why is the novelty of the renewal of the moon and not when it's whole in the middle of the month, right? So that was the question. Because and why what's better about when the moon barely is a little bit visible versus when it's the whole moon. So the elevation of the moon or Chodesh compared to when it's full is about the light, meaning from day to day we have an additional light until we have until the light is to the highest. Unlike when unlike when we have the moon in its fullness, where afterwards it starts becoming less. There's no longer strengthening happening. Um, so the main point, how is this connected to the redemption? Right, that's what we're trying to focus on. Um, the moment of the molad, the moment of the renewal of the moon, that's when the true reality of the moon is revealed. Right? So what does it mean? The example is in the Jewish people who are going to be like it, right? So this is when the essence of the reality of Jewish people, the essence of the soul, comes and starts the revelation. And this goes all the way until the fullness, right? So from that moment to the next, we have the essence that is above revelation, right? This is the moment where you still don't even see the moon, but it's above even the idea of the revelation. And in the world to come, we're going to see the true reality of Jewish people, which are an essence of the soul, which is one with Hashem. As we've said many times, Israel and Hashem, and Israel v'kuchabrichu kul achad, the Jewish people and Hashem are all one, as it is continued and revealed in all the levels of the five names it was called, in all the powers of the soul, in thought, speech, and action, in all the limbs and all the veins, that in all of this is recognizable that the Jewish people and Hashem are all one. And so the idea, as we said, right? Well, what is the idea? The complete wholeness of the world to come is that even the essence that is above revelation, right? That is actually emphasized specifically in Rosh Chodesh Kislev, because we said it's Kes Lamed Vav, right? The 36th throne, which is Lamed Vav, is also the gematria of the Ele, which is and so this is the idea, right? That it is connected. It's the revelation of the 36th throne, so to speak, and it's a completion of the moon, and it's noticeable that there is a renewal, right? The first moment after the concealment, the moment of renewal, with it, when we have a renewal and reveal the reality of the moon. So the essence that is above revelation goes and continues also in the idea in the revelation itself. So it's an extra special situation when we have Rosh Chodesh Kislev, because we have on the one hand the revelation of the essence where it's not even revealed, but it's revealing what all the way to the 36th throne, so to speak. And so this is even more so. Obviously, we have all the holidays of Kislev, Chanukah, Yud Kislev, and Yud Kislev, which is coming, God willing, next week, which are connected with the oil in the Torah, the inner part of the Torah that is revealed through the Torah of Chassidut. Okay, because through Torah of Chassidut, we can we were able to start knowing and understanding and comprehending Hashem, which is a preparation to the knowing of Hashem that will be in the world to come. Because it says, what's going to be the business of the world? Only to know Hashem. It says the land was full of knowledge of Hashem like water fills the sea. And so that's the whole point. The whole point is that'll be the time of the redemption. We'll be working on learning Hashem. So, and then we continued and we said that the whole service, right? Everything in the world to come is dependent on our service now in exile. So what was our service to prepare for the true redemption, right? What is that, which obviously is connected to the moon, to the new moon, to Rosh Chodesh, that we're going to be renewed like the moon, that the renewal of the Jewish people will be like the renewal of the moon, is through the revelation of the essence of the Jewish people, the essence of the soul that is even above the Yechida, right? And we talked about that, right? Through the redemption of Mashiach, each Jew can reveal the spark of Mashiach within him, which is the unity point. And the Rebbe corrected that it's even higher than the unity point, right? That it's even higher. The true reality of this, it's the essence of the Jew, the essence of Israel that is above the essence of even the Yechida, the unity point that wants to cleave to Hashem. So we could say that this is hinted, right? I found David, we talked about how Matzati, David Avdi Bashem, and Kochim Shachtiv. I found from the word Matsui that is talking about the reality, right? That is, and again, we have to, all of this Matsui or existing, we're using this language so that we can describe what it really is. And so, as we said, what's the idea of in our service? That even before the revelation of the Yechida, the nullification, and the giving over to Hashem, until we're in a state where He can, there's nothing to think about but words of Torah. And certainly, right, and we're talking about the Yechida, the inner part of the Torah. We have the essence of the essence of His reality, the essence of the soul, and this knowledge, and the knowledge that not just that He's going to awaken and it's going to bring all the ideas of the service, and this is the reality of the idea of the coming Mashiach. The essence of the Jewish people is the revelation, as we described. All right, so now we're going to go back inside. That was the review of last week. Right, and so now we're continuing with Yud Aleph. So יש לומר שעניין זה מומש בלשון חז"ל כל ימי חייך להביא לימות המשיח. So this is all hinted by the words of our sages that all the days of our life we should bring the days of Mashiach. כל ימי חייך, what does it mean all the days of your life? פירושו בכל רגע ורגע שהאדם חי, הן ביום והן בלילה, הן ער והן ישן. All the days of life, what does it mean? Every moment and moment that the person is alive, whether it's by day or by night, whether they're awake or asleep, because either way, you're still alive through breathing air. Every soul shall praise you, Hashem. We should praise Hashem for every breath we take. That it has to happen, right? So the fact that we're alive, by the fact that we can breathe air, we should praise Hashem. Because God forbid, if someone can't breathe, they that's it. They expire, right? So when it says every moment, it needs to be every moment and moment. Unlike eating and drinking, where you don't do it over moment. Every moment, the whole every day of your life should be to bring the days of Mashiach. So our livelihood, our own expression, our own desire at any moment should be to bring the days of Mashiach. What does it mean? Not just when you're at a time when you're thinking and you're speaking, you're doing actions to bring Mashiach, but the essence of your life, it should be a part of you, a part of every one of us is an indisposable part. When you're breathing, when you're learning, when you're thinking, when you're biking, when you're doing whatever, it should be all of that. It should be your essence to bring the days of Mashiach. We have to look at the exactness of the word. To bring to the days of Mashiach. To bring, uses to bring. So what does it mean? You will bring the days of Mashiach. And not in the regular way, which you would say, the days of Mashiach is also plural. Shouldn't it say limei Mashiach, to the day limot Mashiach? It's multiple days of the Mashiach. Basically, it's not. You could say limei Mashiach, right, or to liyom Mashiach. Kasher chayut dechol echad Yisrael b'yan Mashiach hanan, meaning the livelihood, the essence, the life of every Jew is with the idea of Mashiach. הרי זה מביא במלך ומלך מעמד ומצב דמות המשיח. So this brings, obviously in any ways, to the state of the days of Mashiach. שהעצם דישראל יהיה בהתגלות בפועל ממש. So the essence of the Jewish people is going to be the revelation in actuality. ובזה גוף על ימות המשיח לשון רבים. And within this, we could talk about to the days of Mashiach. לימות המשיח. It's plural, right? יש לומר שרומז על שתי תקופות הכלליות במשיח. The fact that it says plural days of Mashiach and not to the day of Mashiach, right? Or there are two periods in the days of Mashiach. ורומז גם על כל הריבוי העליות שיהיו בימות המשיח. And it's also hinting to all the different levels and elevations that will be in the days of Mashiach. באופן שהליכה מחיל אל חיל עד אין קץ. In a way of going from level to level, from strength to strength, until infinity. Right? And so we're talking about, and what is the 2 days of Mashiach? The Likutei Sichot actually answers. The Rambam clearly, it seems like the Rambam thought there'd be 2 different ideas in 2 different times. There is a time and a scenario in the days of Mashiach, which is connected with the coming of Mashiach. And there's another time, an additional time that will be added after the period of the beginning of the days of Mashiach. And in the second part, the custom of the world will actually change. And this is going to be in a later part of the days of Mashiach. So the days of Mashiach, there are 2 periods. That's why you could be the days of Mashiach, but also still not have the resurrection of the dead, because that may be in a later part of the days of Mashiach, right? Back to the words of the Rebbe. In the detail, העניין דכל ימי חייך להביא למות משיח מתבטא בכך שתכף שניאור עצם הנשמה מרגיש שנתגלה עצם מציאותו רק והעצם מרגיש בנשימת האוויר עניינו של משיח. And this idea of all the days of your life to bring the day of Mashiach is shown by the fact that as soon as you're awakened, the essence of your soul is revealed, the essence of your reality, and only the essence feels when you breathe the air. As soon as you breathe the air and you say Modani, you should realize that you're breathing the air of the breathing of the air of the idea of Mashiach. Avir shel Mashiach, the air of Mashiach. Ubilshon Chazal, rucho shel Melech HaMashiach. And in the words of our sages, the spirit of the Melech HaMashiach. So, where do we learn this? Bereshit Rabbah Perek Daled. V'ruach Elokim merachefet. What does it mean when it says in Bereshit, the spirit of Hashem, or the wind of Hashem, is flying upon the land? Zerucho shel Mashiach. It's the spirit of Mashiach, or the Hachma da'at amar v'nach alav ruach Hashem be'ezchut mishemesh ma'av b'chevet pnei hamayim b'zchut tshuva shetimshelet lemayim, and it's going upon the water in the merit of the tshuva that is like water. So that's the and so that's where it mean that's where that comes from, the idea. ויש לומר שהאוויר רוח של משיח הוא למעלה גם מראש משיח. We have to say the air or the spirit of Mashiach is higher than even the light of Mashiach. כי אור של משיח מורה על התגלות במשיח על ידי פעולותיו. The light of Mashiach is talking about the revelation of Mashiach through his actions. כמו ילחם מלחמות השם עד שנצח. Like the light of Mashiach is through his actions. He'll fight the wars of Hashem until he wins, etc. מה שאין כן אוויר של משיח מורה על עצם, חיות דמשיח. The air of Mashiach teaches us about the essence of Mashiach. כלומר התגלות מציאותו, the revelation of his reality. מציאות שקיימת גם לפני זה, למלכות. A reality that exists even before he's revealed to, as far as kingships. בתור מלך המשיח, as the מלך המשיח. ולאחרי התגלות מציאותו אוויר שבאין ערוך מאורו של משיח. And after the revelation of his reality, so to speak, air from the light of Avir, the air of Mashiach that is much higher than the light of Mashiach, מתחילה התגלות לעיני כל על ידי פעולותיו ואור של משיח. So after we've revealed the air of Mashiach, we get to the light of Mashiach, which is the actions. And so there's a bunch of side notes on this, but what does this mean, the light and the air of Mashiach? So the Kuti Levi Yitzchak explains this actually. Oro shel Mashiach Yesod. The light of Mashiach is the foundation. Why is he called Mashiach? Mashiach because he was anointed with oil. Shemen Yesod כמו שסוד נקרא זית shemen. Shemen, oil is the foundation. The foundation is called olive oil. ומה גם שיש משיח בן יוסף דיסוד. And though there is Mashiach ben Yosef also has a foundation, מה שנקט משיח באחרונה הוא להורות שאורו של משיח יסוד הוא המחבר את האורות, אור התורה, כולי אור בית המקדש. So the idea, the thing the Mashiach said, the light of Mashiach is a foundation that connects the five lights, the light of Torah, etc., to the light of Beit HaMikdash, Chagat, Netzach, Vehod, which is also the five, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Vehod, Im Or Tshuva Malchut, with the light of Tshuva, which is Malchut, right? And so all of that unites. That's the idea, right? המשיח לקט תורה של משיח ולאור של המשיח ובשאר התורה התשובה. כי הכוח שיש ביסוד לחבר חגת נצח והוד עם מלכות כי כל בשמיים בארץ. ומפני ששרשו למעלה מהם שמגיע בדעת למעלה ממידות. So the idea is it connects all the sphere, right? That's the idea. So this is why the light of Mashiach is the light of knowledge, da'at, which shines in the Yesod, which is the connection of the midot with the lower and connected all the way to Malchut, which is Tshuva. Right? And so, גם יש לומר, נקט משיח באחרונה, ומינה שאור משיח הוא אור הזיר במלכות. לכן נקט תורה של משיח. So the idea, again, this is the idea of how grand the light of Mashiach is. Yeah. So this is... And this is but now when we go to Torah, what about light versus air? So how does the light actually happen? How do we have the idea of a fire? The light of the candles, because there's air surrounding the light. Without air, the candle's going to go out. You can't have fire if there's no air. Unlike so it's not going to be shining at all. So this is why we don't cover the candle, right? On Shabbat, because if you cover a candle on Shabbat, you're going to make the light go off because there's no air. Because the air causes the light of the candle, and just like avil, right? So the avil hotiyot o yud. Avil, air, is the light of Yud 10 or Hashem. Shaviru makor, the light is the source. Sorry, the air is the source of the light. Wow, that's so interesting. I've never learned. So the Yud, which is concealed in the letters of Avil, Aleph, Vav, Yud, Resh, right? Which is O and the letter Yud, is the concealment of the light. And through the air can the light come out and be revealed, right? And so this is the idea, which is why we said that this idea of the light of Mashiach is grand, but the air of Mashiach is even grander, because without the air of Mashiach, the light of, which is the action of Mashiach, cannot be truly revealed and cannot be there, right? So if the air of Mashiach is the existence, the reality of Mashiach, versus the light of Mashiach is the actions of Mashiach, right? So we, based on this, we can understand that the main novelty is the coming of Mashiach, is the revelation of his existence. Matzati David Avdi, I found David my servant. כי כל פרטי העניינים שאחרי זה התגלותו לעיני כל, על ידי פעולותיו לכל ישראל וכוננים דמות המשיח באים כתוצאה והצטרפות מתגלות במציאות וכלולים בה. So all of the ideas that come afterwards, the revelation for all of his actions to redeem the Jewish people, and everything else that happens in the days of Mashiach, come as a result from the revelation of his existence, of his reality, and are included in it. And this is the same case. We're going back. Why is it Rosh Chodesh that is connected to Mashiach? Because the Rosh Chodesh is the revelation of the existence of the moon, so to speak. And similarly, the air of Mashiach is the existence of Mashiach, and this leads to the redemption, and this leads to the whole moon, right? That's the idea of why the renewal of the moon is the time which is connected to Mashiach, more than the when the moon is shiny, because again, the air, right, versus the light. ויומתק בדיוק הלשון כל ימי חייך להביא למות משיח, שהחיות חייך כשנתגלה מציאותו מביאה בדרך ממילא למות משיח. So we can sweeten the words even more. All the days חייך, your life, להביא למות משיח, the life חייך, when it's revealed, your life, when it's revealed, the true reality, it's going to bring to the days of Mashiach. When you reveal the chayecha, your life, what is our life from? The reality of Mashiach, the rest of it will come anyways. Because our life, our source of life, includes within it all the details of the days of Mashiach, which are all connected with the revelations of his essence, which is the renewal of the moon. Yud Bet. When we're talking about this, action is the most important. Since the moon was already born, as we already had Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Rosh Chodesh Shel Geula, the Rosh Chodesh of the redemption. Chodesh HaShlishi, the third month, right? Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev. Shekashur im HaGeula HaShlishi, which is connected with the third redemption. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I agree. Torah is the blueprint for everyone. That's correct. But in any case, so again, the third month of the year is connected to the third Beit HaMikdash, which is connected to redemption. So that year, the Rebbe said this was Tafshin and Bet Teshnat Niflod Ba. And this year, Tafshin Pevav, Teshnat Pidyon Vegeula. May it be a year of redeeming. We had all our hostages redeemed, Baruch Hashem, and now Vegeula and redemption, the complete redemption of the Jewish people in the world. Meaning it should be a year of miracles and everything. צריך כל אחד ואחד מישראל להוסיף ביתר שאת וביתר עוז בהדגשת עניין דכל ימי חייך להביא את המשיח. So each Jew, each person needs to add some livelihood, some strength to the emphasis of all the days of your life to bring to the days of Mashiach. על ידי זה שכל מציאותו תכף שניאור משנתו חדורה בהיות משיח. So as soon as you wake up, you should have a thought of Mashiach. שזו עצם מציאותו של כל אחד מישראל משיח שבו, which is the essence and the true reality of each person, the Mashiach within him. שמביאה לימות המשיח. If we could wake up and the first thought is, oh, I'm not tired of this, before even Tzimodani is, I hope, Hashem, I thank you for giving me my soul and let's have Mashiach today, then certainly Mashiach will come immediately. This is already my addition to what the Rebbe is saying. ועניין זה יכול וצריך להיות גם ברגע זה על ידי התעוררות מחודש בתוקף, בחודש לעצם הנצמה, על דרך ניעור משנתו. But it's based on what the Rebbe is saying. This idea needs to be in this moment also through the awakening, a renewal of the essence of our soul, because we've awakened, we woke up, right? This להביא לימות המשיח. So now that we've woken up, let's bring the days of Mashiach. על ידי זה שמוסיף עוד מצווה אחת. So how do we do this? Let's add one mitzvah. One extra class of learning, one extra Torah learning, one extra fill-in you put on someone, one extra good deed, one extra time you give tzedakah, whatever one extra mitzvah is, because this one extra mitzvah, as the Rambam says, as the Rebbe quotes many times, can make the whole world meritorious and move the whole world towards meritorious and bring him and the whole world a redemption. וכל זה לאו דווקא בעניינים קשורים עם בחירת היחידה. And all of this that we just said is not only about these elevated grand things that are connected ביחידה, כמו לימוד והפצת תורת החסידות, like learning and spreading the Torah of Chassidut, which is the Yechidah in the Torah, אלא גם בעיקר בעניינים פשוטים. No, we're not talking about only, the one mitzvah should be we should learn more Chassidus and teach more Chassidus. And no, we're talking about simple things, כמו נתינת צרכיו הגשמיים של יהודי הקשורים מאיזושהי מציאותו, like the giving of the needs to a Jew who needs something. If a Jew needs food, give him food. If a Jew requires help, make sure to give him help. If a Jew needs a place to daven, make sure you can come to a minyan so the Jew can daven with you, right? So you can say Kaddish. And this is especially true about the special needs of the month of Kislev. B'mei Chanukah, the days of Chanukah. Yemei Simcha ve'Halel, days of happiness and Hallel. Right? The Rambam said the sages of the generation said that these days are going to be days of Simcha and Hallel. This is the decree of our sages. It's a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. Shemosifim besudot shel Simcha. We add feasts of joy, kolel gam haminhag denitnat ma'ot Chanukah, kfi shenahgu rabbeinu tziyenu, including the custom of giving money, Hanukkah geld, as our rabbis would do, right? As it says the rabbis would give out Hanukkah geld, right? ולפני זה בסודות התוודות של שמחה ימי גאולה י' וי"ט Kislev, and also with the farbrengens of the joy of the days of the redemption of Yud and Yud Kislev. All right, Yud Gimel. Vehi ratzon v'oikar, and may it be His will, and this is the most important part. Shebetchilat Kodesh Kislev Chodesh HaGeula, that in the beginning of this month of Kislev, the month of redemption, Tavo b'pol v'gilu HaGeula amiti v'shlema, should come in actuality and in revelation, the true and complete redemption. Atchalat HaGeula v'shlimuta, the beginning of the redemption and its completion. Al yedei Mashiach tidkenu, through Mashiach tidkenu. Yamod Melech Mibet David Chule, should stand up a king from the house of David, etc. until he can fix the world so we can all serve Hashem together. Then I shall turn to the nations to serve with one together, to serve Hashem together. וחרומז גם בסיום חותם הפטרה לשבוע שעבר והתחלת פרשת שבוע. הפטרת השבוע שעבר מסתיימת בהכרזה יחי אדוני המלך דוד לעולם. So this was toldot, the parsha before Chayei Sarah, which is my mitzvah parsha. The Haftarah ends with saying, "Long live my master, the King David, forever." Nitzchiyut Malchut David shenimshecha b'Malchut Shlomo, the eternal nature of the kingship of David that is continued through the kingship of Shlomo. Sheshlimutai Mashiach shehu mibeit David v'zel Shlomo, that its completeness is going to be through the Melech HaMashiach, who is from the house of David and from the seed of Shlomo. The purpose of this declaration is the revelation of the reality of the King Melech HaMashiach. And after this comes his revelation to the idea, so everyone can see through his actions. And this is what happens in the parsha that we just read in the last Shabbat. These are the toldot, these are the births of Yitzchak. The birth of Mashiach is in the revelation of his realities in a way that is that we can see. Until anyone who hears will have laughter for me. Yitzchak, meaning laughter, joy. Yeah. ולא דרך שפועל גם על אוויר העולם, הן בבירור לבן, פרשת ועת והן בבירור דעשיו, פרשת וישלח. And this Yitzchak, right, doesn't just stop. It goes and acts upon the air of the world, right? And the whole world, and it elevates Lavan in the parsha of this week, Vayetze, and then it elevates Esav even in parsha Vayishlach, right? The next two parshiot, as we're continuing to read, the Rebbe says we're ready. We went from Toldot. This week we're going to elevate Lavan, and the parsha after we're going to elevate Esav himself. Ad asher avo el Adoni Seira, until I shall come to my master at Seir. Right? So this is the right. Ad asher avo el Seir, Chiv lo derech. He made the path further. Shelo haya dato lelechet el Sukkot. Initially, he would only Yaakov was only going to go to Sukkot, but it ended up that he went all the way to Seir. אמר אם דעתו לעשות לרעה ימתין בו אצלו, ואם לא הלך, מתי ילך בימי המשיח? So it says if he's going to do something bad for me, I'll wait until for certainly it's going to be by him. And he didn't go, right? And so when is he going to go? When is this going to happen that he's going to go to Seir? It says in the days of Mashiach. ועלו מושיעים בהר ציון לשפוט את עריסיו, because Avadia says, and those who redeemed the Mount of Zion will come to judge the Mount of Esav, right? So when is all this, as we said? This is all going to happen in the days of Mashiach. And came the redeemers in the mount of Mount Zion to come judge the Mount of Esav, and to Hashem were the kingship. I mean, this happened immediately. Shkoach. We finished Be'ezrat Hashem, the Sicha of Toldot, of Rosh Chodesh. We talked about Rosh Chodesh is not just the beginning of the month, right? Every Rosh Chodesh has a meaning, and there's a general meaning in every Rosh Chodesh, which is connected to the redemption. There's a special meaning of Kislev, because it's like Kes Lamed Vav, which is the connection, the covering of the moon, and the Lamed Vav, which is the revelation that comes after. And all of that we should pray like a child, that we should understand before even Modani, think of Mashiach, that we realize that the light is a revelation from the essence, and it's the air brings to the light, and that we should know that now that the moon has already been born, we already had Rosh Chodesh of the redemption. We're in the third month, which is connected to the redemption. We need to simply do one more action, one more thing, and may we merit that soon. Yechi Adoni Melech David leolam. Long live my master, the King David, forever. May our master, may the Melech HaMashiach come and redeem us this month of the redemption, and may we merit to learn already the next words, a new sicha. Torah chadasha me'iti tetzeh. Actualize one with godless is the thing that happened to a person. And Mashiach's reality bring God. Yeah, I agree. Mashiach's reality does bring Hashem's real oneness to everyone instantaneously. But it's not even if you comprehend the truth. I'm going to go even further. It's not about comprehending the truth. Even if we don't fully comprehend the truth, right? Comprehending the truth is even better, of course. But even if we don't fully comprehend the truth, or we only get a small part of it, right? The moon is just starting to be revealed. That's okay. That's okay. Even that is good. As long as we know that we want to bring Mashiach, as long as we have the desire, with that, we can do one extra mitzvah for this. We can do one extra thought in the morning when we do Modehani to think about Mashiach. And that one thing might be the thing that makes it so that this Kislev, we are truly redeemed. And so when we have the Chag HaGeulah, the holiday of redemption, and Yud Tet Kislev, or even before, on Yud Kislev, we can already have Mashiach with us, with the true and final redemption. May we all merit to see it, and may Mashiach teach us this class next week. Shkach.